Okay, so I'm going to give you an update on the installation of the Bluetooth module in my Volvo XC90. In the previous video, I showed the neat Bluetooth receiver. I indicated that I was going to get a replacement for this because it wasn't working properly. Indeed, the replacement didn't work properly. And so what I did was I've actually purchased an Arcam B-Link. Now that, in fact, is installed here. The reason it's installed here, I planned originally to bury everything below this cup holder in the space underneath here, so that there would be nothing visible. But this has actually got a button on the front of it, which you use to link the devices to it for pairing for the first time. So I needed to actually install it where I could get access to it, and so here is quite a good place. So there's the USB power input, there is the analog output going through this grommet here. I shall just go into the back of the car quickly now. Okay, so the module's on the other side of this part here, and the power supply is coming from here. Inside there, as I indicated, I used a little USB device. I've taken the innards out of it and wrapped it up in a bit of shrink wrap, and then stuck a fuse in, and then connected it to the positive and negative wires here that are on the other side of that. That runs down and is housed in the side panel here. The analog output from this Bluetooth receiver comes through the grommet and then goes along the inside here through a whole bunch of other wires that are to do with, I don't know, maybe this was quite nice, it's got a DVD player, but along with the wires that are associated with that, I think, I don't know, loads of wires that are along there. There's a loom, and I think if you hold on, quickly zoom around here, if you take the screw out here, there's another screw when you lift the phone receiver, or sometimes other things that don't have a phone has a screw there. You take the screw out there, pop this panel up, there's two screws here and two screws down here, take those out and put it into neutral, and then lift up this. You can then lift off this whole surface here and get access to the space under there, and then what you find is you're able to run the wire through that space and then pick up the jack here, the auxiliary input jack, which I've now popped down, so that's just a hole there now, covered over by that blanking plate. So the connection is made in there. Basically the connection is there from the analog output of the B-Link, and it works incredibly well. So I'm going to just quickly switch the engine on, and what you'll find is that will now switch on and connect to my iPod automatically. So probably it's already done it. Let's have a look under the Bluetooth section. Yep, so there you go, it's connected, which means that I can play an audiobook.
And the fear out of my mind, but it's like shoring up a failing levee.
Okay,
it won't last,
or
it won't hold.
Switch on some music.
This is embarrassing, I say.
There we are, playing some Daft Punk, or I can go to a podcast of something that I had on the radio.
That Corbyn and Donald Trump would have similar.
But most importantly, I can hide that away, and it's connected, so that all I have to do is to switch the auxiliary input here, or switch to the USB, or switch to the CD, or back to the auxiliary input, and I'm then connected wirelessly to my iPod. So finally I have a solution, and I'm pretty pleased with that, because it's a solution which can operate with the iPod just locked away in there, out of the way, out of sight, without any wires. The connection occurs automatically, and then all I have to do is turn that knob there and access the Bluetooth module. And it's an Arcam system, so it uses actually it's a Burr Brown digital to analog converter, and I have to say the sound really is excellent. So I'm quite pleased. Now I'm sorry that I haven't shown you all of the the ins and outs of the taking the car apart and putting it back together. But to be honest, I should imagine, you know, you've got 4 screws, 2 screws here, pop this up, 2 screws here, another 2 screws will be down here. This can be lifted up. There's a couple of screws that you can see there that you take off when this has been moved out of the way. You can undo them. This whole cluster slides back, and you can then also, you have to take off these Torx head screws here, and then lift this thing out of the way. It allows you to get a bit more access to be able to take out the this cigarette lighter part here. Yeah, but I mean, anybody who's used to pulling cars apart should be able to do that without any trouble at all. So it works, and I hope that's been helpful. Cheers.